While hiking through the dense boreal forests of Canada, a hiker suddenly felt as if something was watching him. As he panned his camera across the thick woods, he caught sight of a figure in the distance. Zooming in, he realized a creature was staring directly back at him. At first glance, it resembled a bear, its body covered in thick black fur, but on closer inspection, its head appeared strangely human-like, more similar to an ape or a gorilla. Given that Canada has no native apes or gorillas, the sighting remains a mystery. Judging by its size compared to the surrounding trees, many believe it could have been a young Bigfoot. While trekking through the snowy mountains of Nepal, two mountaineers caught this on camera. They were struggling to breathe in the thin air when they noticed a massive figure moving through the snow like it was nothing. At first, it looked almost human, but then they saw it was way too big and completely covered in thick black fur. There was no way it could have been a person. Staring at it, the only thing that made sense to them was the old legend of the Yeti. Even now, no one's managed to explain what they saw. In May of 2008, a man was out geocaching near the Widowmaker trail when he spotted something strange. In the distance, he caught sight of a massive figure moving through the trees. He managed to capture a brief video, but the footage cut off abruptly. Later, he posted the clip online, asking others what they thought. Most viewers believed the footage was real, but the man never posted again. He didn't reply to comments, didn't give any updates, and never shared any more information. To this day, the footage remains a complete mystery. A trail camera with night vision caught something strange deep in the forest. It wasn't a regular animal, and not quite human either. Its arms were long, almost like a monkey's, but much more muscular. Definitely not something you'd expect to see wandering the American woods. Out there in the dark, it seems unlikely that someone in a Bigfoot costume would be roaming around. So, is it truly Bigfoot, or is there another explanation? A family was on a road trip when they spotted something strange in the woods. While driving past a dense stretch of forest, they noticed a large black figure partially hidden behind a tree. It seemed to be watching them, and when it realized it had been seen, it crouched lower, trying to stay out of sight. The figure had a broad frame and moved in a human-like way, but its size didn't quite match typical Bigfoot stories. Honestly, it looked more like someone in a costume. Still, not any less unsettling. A hiker was deep in Konka National Forest around 2:30 a.m. on a quiet solo hike. As he passed a thick wall of shrubs, he heard a single step behind him. Turning, he saw this.
I don't know what that is over there.
He said whatever it was stood taller than him, well over 6 feet. He quickly grabbed his phone and caught a glimpse, right before it vanished. From that point on, he couldn't shake the feeling that something big was watching his every move. But it didn't show itself again that night. A Reddit user from the UK was walking their dog in the woods near their home when they heard unusual sounds coming from behind them. The noises didn't get closer or fade away. Instead, they seemed to keep pace, as if something was following at a steady distance. It wasn't until they left the woods entirely that the sound stopped. Whatever it was, it didn't follow past the trees. Way up in northern Ontario, about 350 kilometers north of Thunder Bay, people in a small, fly-in community spotted something unusual. Fresh tracks were found in hardened sand near a marsh, each one about 15 inches long, spaced 5 feet apart. Locals say the sightings always pick up in spring and summer, almost like these creatures migrate in. Just a few nights ago, campers at Pioneer Ridge reported strange cries echoing from the woods. And near the powwow grounds, some say they saw a tall, shadowy figure, at least 6 to 8 feet tall, moving through the trees. Could these recent sightings have something to do with the massive footprints near the marsh, in a place this remote? It's not hard to believe that something might really be out there. Back in 2012, a dirt biker was riding through a snowy, open stretch of forest with a camera rolling. The terrain was quiet, wide, and mostly clear, until something unusual appeared ahead. In the distance, a tall, dark figure stood upright, just off the trail. It didn't resemble any animal you'd expect to see out there. Some believe it may have been Bigfoot. Others are more skeptical, saying it was just a trick of the eye. But in the final seconds of the footage, the figure seems to shift and walk away. So it was definitely something. But the question is, what exactly did he capture that day? This photo was originally taken by a Reddit user's grandfather back in 1986. He'd been out birdwatching somewhere near the Red River in western Oklahoma. While scanning the landscape, he apparently captured something unusual on camera. The image has since made its rounds on various forums, sparking debate. Does it show Bigfoot, or is it just a trick of light and shadows? I tried to find the original zoomed out version of the photo, but it seems to be nowhere to be found. And without it, it's hard to judge. A hiker ventured deep into the woods, recording his journey, which was later posted on a channel called Bigfoot King. From the start, his unease was obvious. He seemed to be expecting something hidden among the dense trees.
Where are you? Straight up front. Straight up front. Right? Straight up front.
At first, he mistook it for a tree, but when it moved and a branch cracked, the truth hit hard. His camera shook as panic kicked in. He tried to get a better view, but the creature was already fading into the foliage, its size and presence undeniable. He figured it was best to get out. A hiker claimed to have caught a Bigfoot on camera in 2015. Despite the suspiciously blurry quality, you could see the creature, covered in thick black fur, shaking a tree like it was nothing. After shaking the tree, it moved on to another one. What was it doing? Mark Anders recently captured this photo on his trail camera. The camera was hidden in a brush, facing a clearing, when a massive creature appeared. It looked like Bigfoot, big, broad-shouldered, with furry arms and a hunched posture. The photo, likely taken early in the morning or late afternoon, shows the creature moving, causing a bit of motion blur. Unfortunately, no clear details are visible in the photo, but it doesn't look like a human to me. A man was filming deep in the Georgia mountains when he spotted a large, brown, hairy figure walking upright, calm and steady, like it belonged there. The creature didn't seem to notice him. It moved through the trees with quiet purpose. For a few seconds, the camera zoomed in. The footage is brief, but enough to stir curiosity. Was it really Bigfoot? On October 14th, 1994, two men were out hunting in the woods of the US when they noticed something strange.
He's fucking looking my way and pointing something. He fucking scared me.
No, he's not a Sasquatch, eh?
No, can't fucking tell with the camera.
Well, I don't see no moose down there.
Far off in the distance, a large dark figure was moving through the trees. The range made it hard to tell. Was it just a person or something else entirely? But even from that far away, one thing was clear. The figure was bigger than any average human. On March 2nd, 2025, a person found an old camera deep in the Oregon woods and developed the film. When he checked the footage, he was shocked to see this. Experts say its face looks way too realistic to be fake. It seemed to have human and monkey-like features. Oregon's Bigfoot sightings go way back, especially in the 60s and 70s. Even today, many reports still surface. In September of 2024, during a canoe trip on Lake Ashagan, two friends decided to explore a trail and take some photos. As they wandered deeper into the woods, they started hearing strange noises.
Should we get... What? What? Oh! Did you hear that? Dude, that's like knock... That's knock... Something's knocking, dude. That's not a woodpecker. What is that? Do you have your camera? I can't see anything. I can't see it.
Look at the tree.
Whoa, oh, whoa.
Be careful,
Dude, is that a bear? Diz, is that a bear? Get your camera. Come here.
At first, they thought it might just be a bear, but then they saw it.
I can't see it. Can you see it?
No.
I don't see anything.
Look,
Oh,
look at the size of that thing.
Oh, dude, that's not a bear. That's not a bear. That's not a bear. Oh.
A tall figure moving quickly and upright through the trees. Later, when they reviewed their video in slow motion, they spotted it clearly. A large black figure slipping between the trees. They couldn't believe what they had captured on camera. This footage was recorded at a cabin in the woods. It shows a dark, hairy creature creeping up to the window at night, peeking inside. According to the homeowner, it was the first and last time they saw it. They stayed inside all night, too afraid to move. But that raises a question. How did someone manage to have a camera rolling at just the right moment? Did they already sense something was out there? Or was it just pure coincidence? This trail camera captured something truly unexpected. In the foreground, two deer can be seen, but in the background, a strange figure is walking. At first glance, it looks like a child in a costume, but the longer you study the image, the less certain it feels. The figure's hands are massive, far too large for a child, and if it were a person, why do the deer stay so calm? Some believe it could be a young Sasquatch. Whatever it is, one thing is certain. The image raises far more questions than it answers. YouTuber Grassman58 snuck away for a solo camp at Bailey Lake. The sky was overcast, and rain looked likely, but he didn't mind. He was only staying one night. He picked a quiet spot tucked between the trees, sheltered from the wind. A hike around the lake revealed plenty of animal tracks, but nothing unusual. Then he started hearing strange, unexplained sounds.
Looking for any kind of tracks. Tons of tracks. Just tons of animal tracks. I don't know if the camera picked that up, but I just heard what sounded like a knock. Ooh, second one. That way. And while I was sitting here, I heard a faint knock way up on that cliff edge that overlooks the lake. And then around a little after 4, I heard what sounded like a rock hitting a tree. And those are some of the reports that people have claimed to experience out here.
Sleeping in his car, he waited, hoping the night would bring something worth capturing, but unfortunately, it didn't. Bigfoots are known for knocking on trees. What do you think? A truck driver from Alaska shared a bizarre photo he snapped while taking a break near Dalton Highway. He had smelled something foul, like decaying flesh, and wandered around taking photos. Later, while scrolling through his pictures, he found one showing a creature holding a baby Bigfoot. The creature looked huge, with dark eyes and a giant face. The driver had already had other Bigfoot encounters, but this was the first time he captured such a clear image. Given Alaska's remote forests and mountains, it's not surprising that Bigfoot sightings happen here. A veteran Bigfoot researcher in Florida began receiving persistent calls and emails from a man he didn't know. Eventually, the man sent over a few supposed Bigfoot photos, claiming they were taken in Florida and even offering to meet in person. But every time they made plans, the man backed out, 4 times in a row. Growing suspicious, the researcher took a closer look at the photos. Then, it hit him. Years earlier, during a book signing in his home state, a man in a Bigfoot costume had stormed his table, causing chaos. Looking at the photos again, it looked like the exact same costume. Now the researcher believes the man was never serious, just trying to mess with him all along. The family was chilling by the lake, just soaking in the day, when their camera caught something super weird. At first, they couldn't understand what they were seeing, so they decided to post it online to see what others thought. Turns out, everyone pointed to the same thing: Bigfoot. Were they unknowingly close to something dangerous? Ruth posted a photo on Facebook explaining that her son-in-law took it while watching wild turkeys. At first, he didn't notice anything unusual, but when her daughter pointed it out, he saw something strange in the background. Ruth was quick to clarify that the photo hadn't been photoshopped. She insisted it was genuine and asked people not to claim otherwise. Though I get why some are skeptical. There's definitely some pixelation, but still, it deserves a fair look. The figure in the image seems too ghost-like to be Bigfoot, and oddly enough, it almost looks human, like it's wearing boots. Some have even wondered, could Bigfoot be an interdimensional being? And if so, does this photo support that idea? A hunter sat quietly in his elk blind about 2 miles deep into the woods when he heard rustling nearby. Curiosity got the better of him, and he stepped out to take a look. That's when he saw it. A dark, hairy figure, half hidden in the brush. Only the head and upper body were visible. Startled, the hunter quickly made his way back to camp, not wanting to risk a confrontation. Was it truly something dangerous, maybe even Bigfoot himself, or just a trick of the eyes? While hiking through the forest, a man noticed something watching him. The photo he took showed what looked eerily like a face, half hidden among the trees. At first glance, it resembled a cryptid crouching in the brush, but most viewers weren't convinced. The shapes and shadows lined up almost too perfectly with branches and bark. A few sharp-eyed users pointed out what looked like snapped roots and fallen limbs, likely just part of a collapsed tree. In the end, it seemed to be nature playing tricks again, a classic case of pareidolia. While standing on his deer stand, a hunter was quietly waiting when he noticed something else moving through the trees.
What in the world is that thing? Doesn't look like a deer.
A large, humanoid figure, definitely not a deer. As he zoomed in, the figure appeared completely covered in brown hair with a massive, intimidating frame. Then the howls began. To the hunter, it sounded like either a call or a warning. Shaken, he gave up the hunt and fled, terrified by what he had just witnessed. On November 15th, 2024, a video was shared with the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch group, recounting a terrifying Bigfoot encounter from 3 years ago in a mobile home park near Mount Shasta, Northern California. The sender described how Bigfoot shook the trailer, growled through the window, and slammed into the walls with immense force, an experience that repeated for 2 nights. When she exited the trailer, she captured a pair of glowing eyes staring at her from the shadows. Afterward, her companion saw a tall, dark figure moving near the trailer. While some skeptics suggest it could have been a bear, the growl and shadowy figure don't align with typical bear behavior. This area is known for strange sounds, and Mount Shasta has a history of Bigfoot sightings. Could this have been a real Bigfoot encounter? A young man shared a strange video on Reddit, claiming it was filmed by his uncle in the late 1990s during a camping trip. His uncle recorded it because he thought his younger siblings were trying to scare them around the campsite. He aimed to frighten them, but ended up terrified instead. Hidden in the tall grass was a large, unidentified creature with big, animal-like ears. The man quickly ran back to his family, but when they returned to the spot, the creature had vanished, leaving him wondering what they had actually seen. 2 investigators returned to a hunter's camp in North Georgia where they previously encountered mysterious events. The investigators tried to communicate with whatever might be out there.
You want to hit it?
Let's see if it answers. It answers.
Man, that's some kind of insanity going on.
Right? Okay.
And their knocks are answered with unsettling noises. But the tension rises when they hear this.
Whoa. That was a scream.
Yeah, that was a human scream right there. And that was loud.
Yeah.
A chilling scream echoed through the darkness. These aren't typical animal noises, but deep, almost human-like cries. Later, they hear footsteps crunching through the leaves and see shadowy figures darting at the edge of their vision, just out of sight.
Listen.
Whoa. That's treehouse.
Yep.
Sounds like they're communicating.
As the night continues, strange noises persist, and their equipment starts to fail as if something unseen is interfering. Finally, the investigators decide to end their exploration. On August 12, 2022, a solo camper ventured deep into British Columbia's Chilliwack River Valley, a region long whispered about for its Bigfoot sightings. The first night was calm, until around 11 p.m. when he heard this. Heavy footsteps circling his tent. Then, a balanced rock stack he'd built earlier had been disturbed. The top stone knocked off, yet the rest left untouched. The next morning, he searched the area and found this.
It's the next day. Now, this is the rock statue, the balanced rocks that we're talking about. This rock was knocked off of here. I'll give you some idea how high this is. This is perched on a large boulder, and it comes up to here on me. Okay, let's take a look around because I found something that's rather suspicious. Now, you see the ground here is hard gravel. Well, you listen to me stepping here as the car passes. This is the steps, one after another. They were bipedal, meaning upright, one step after another. But this, do we see that? Do you see that? Because that is my foot. I'm a size 12. Hey, look here. We have a heel. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toes. This looks like a left foot imprint. Right here. I can't cast it. It's probably not deep enough even to get a casting on that. But we can see.
But that wasn't the end of it. On the second night, the strange activity continued.
This is night 2. This is my last night here. And I don't have to worry, but we're going to give you an idea here, just quick again, at night, what it is like around here, okay? Now bear in mind, this is wild country. There are bears and cougars around, so I'm trying to make myself audible at all times and let them know that I'm here. Okay, we can see up the road here and down. This is Pierce Creek. Did you guys just hear that? Okay, my gear is in the camp, in the tent. I just heard a knocking sound.
Whatever was out there never showed itself. In October 2010, a man reviewing a video recorded on a DVR from his vehicle noticed something strange. The footage shows a truck driving through the countryside when a large black figure suddenly appears on the side of the road. The figure's hands appear massive and resemble Bigfoot's. What else could this be? In Provo Canyon, Utah, a couple of hikers captured something unbelievable. While trekking through the woods, they noticed a shape in the distance.
Yeah, we probably should be too close to it, huh? Oh, cool though. Let's go.
At first, they thought it was just a black bear, but then it stood up. They realized it wasn't a bear at all. It looked like some kind of massive humanoid covered in dark fur, like a gorilla. But then the creature seemed to notice them. The hikers, terrified, didn't waste any time and sprinted away. It was an intense and creepy encounter, but because of the trees in the way, they couldn't be sure if it was really Bigfoot. A forest guard in Canada captured a rare sighting of what many believed to be Bigfoot returning from a hunt. The large, hairy figure walked through the woods, holding something small in its hand, likely a bird, maybe a chicken or turkey. What's especially intriguing is its humanoid walk and how it seemed completely unaware it was being recorded. From the footage, it's clear this Bigfoot was hunting smaller prey, proof, some say, that it's a meat eater. The forest guard hasn't seen it again, but he keeps a close watch, hoping for another glimpse one day. A man was fishing at Big Creek Lake in Wilmer, Alabama, when he spotted something across the water. He managed to snap a few pictures. At first glance, it looked like the infamous Bigfoot, covered in thick fur from head to toe. But on closer inspection, the figure seemed more ape-like. Its build resembled a gorilla's, and unlike most Bigfoot sightings, this one appeared smaller than expected. That's led many to wonder, was it really a gorilla? But how did it get there? Or was it just someone in a costume to prank people? Or was it Bigfoot, after all? This Reddit user shared a thermal video clip that seemed to capture something unusual. A large figure moving quickly through the forest. It covered rough terrain with ease, fast enough to make some wonder if it could actually be Bigfoot. But after digging a little deeper into the footage, it turns out it's just a guy in a suit, filmed by a helicopter for a documentary back in the 1990s. And for more Bigfoot encounters, watch this next video.